Good morning, everyone. So, in our today's class, we are just going to revise the lesson number 3, that is Nazism and the rise of Italy, what we have completed after half yearly and before the holidays. And I have given you the question and answers, all means textbook questions also, and the extra questions also in the PDF. I hope you have seen that, and the textbook questions you have done in the notebook, and the extra questions are there just to learn. Now, in this lesson, Nazism and the rise of Hitler. First, we have seen about the Germany in the First World War. That is, the First World War was fought between Germany and the Austrian Empire and Turkey against the Allies. And who were the Allies countries? England, France, and Russians. So they all joined the war, assuming a quick gain and a quick victory. They have all joined the war so that they can gain the victory over Germany. France and Belgium were occupied by Germany, resulting in initial gains. That means France and Germany were occupied by Germany. France and Belgium was occupied by Germany in the starting of the war. Then soon after USA joined the war, the situation turned around. That means previously when we see that Germany was having the victory by occupying France and Belgium, but afterwards, as soon as USA joined the Allies, then we have seen that Germany was defeated. In 1918, the First World War was won by Allies by defeating Germany and the Central Powers. And who all was in Central Powers? Here in new words, you can see clearly that Allies countries were the Allied powers were initially led by UK and France, and in 1941 they were joined by USSR and USA, and they fought against the Axis powers, that is Germany, Italy, and Japan. And in this picture, you can see Hitler and the Goebbels left leaving after the official meeting. That is the propaganda minister Goebbels. After that, we have seen in this the birth of Weimar. In this, we have seen that after the defeat of Germany in the First World War and abdication, that is resignation of the king, the German polity was rebuilt. Means the Germany was defeated in the First World War, and the king has to resign, and thus new policies had to be made for the political framework of Germany again. Then uh, in this, we have also seen that the National Assembly met at Weimar and established a democratic constitution with the federal structure. Federal structure was laid down, and democracy was established. Then there was two major defects. Weimar's republic was established, but there were two major defects in Weimar's constitution, which resulted in the instability to the dictatorship. Now, two main defects of Weimar's constitution was, first was proportional representation was there. This created problem for any one party to gain majority, leading to the rule by coalition. That means coalition government had to be formed. That is Germany. Uh, uh, when it was defeated, then Weimar's Republic was formed. Then after in Weimar's Republic also few defects were there. In this first defect was proportional representation was there, and the uh, this proportional representation created the problem for one party to gain majority. Means one party should only gain the majority, and this lead to the rule by the coalition. That means if the majority party definitely will not means obviously if one party will not get the uh, most of the votes, then definitely the coalition government had to be formed. Then second defect was Article 48, which gave the president the powers to impose emergency suspended civil rights, and rule by decree. All this we have seen that rule by decree means allows the ruler to edit laws arbitrarily, means without approval of any legislative assembly. Uh, then next we have seen about the Treaty of Versailles. In Treaty of Versailles, uh, it was designed by Allied powers to cripple Germany. Cripple Germany means to make the Germany uh, lame or uh, weak, we can say. How it can make it weak? By the military, economically, and territorial power. So, here Treaty of Versailles was signed. Yeah, and in this we have seen in Treaty of Versailles, which is 1919, we have seen that Germany lost her overseas colonies. In this overseas colonies, we have seen the Chinese ports, Pacific Islands, African colonies were also taken back. Then second, uh, according to treaties, second point was this, that Germany's military powers was reduced. Germany military power was reduced, in which army reduced to 1 lakh only, and no air force and modern weapons were to be there. Then could not build large battleships also. So this was according to the condition of Treaty of Versailles for Germany military power. Then Rhineland demilitarized. Rhineland was also a rich resource area, and in this resource rich Rhineland was taken by Allied armies. Then fourth main important point for Treaty of Versailles was Germany lost her national territory also. That is Belgium, Denmark, Lithuania, Poland took 13% of German territory. Clear? Then next we have seen fifth, according to fifth point, Treaty of Versailles was war guilt. That means all Germany was made to accept the World War First blame, whatever defects, whatever loss was there during the First World War. It was all blamed. I mean, Germany was blamed for all that lost. Then reparations, that means Germany was forced to pay war damages and fine about 6 billion pounds. So lastly, we have seen according to Treaty of Versailles, Germany was forced to pay the war damages to the allies countries. Next, we have seen the effects of war. In this effects of war, we have seen that devastating impact on the world was there, both psychological and financially. Then from creditor, Europe had turned to debitor, means the creditor, the one who used to give loan and money to other countries now became a debitor. Now it had to take for its financial crisis. Now, Germany faced war guilt, national humiliation, and found itself crippled financially also. Soldiers rose above civilians. In this, we have seen here, soldiers also were rose above civilians. Then stress was given on men being aggressive, strong, and masculine. Next, we have also seen that media glorified the trench life. Media had glorified the trench life. That means the soldiers lived a miserable lives in these trenches. And trenches, I already tell you, the uh, holes dug in the ground. So they had uh, been living during the war. They had been these soldiers had been living in the miserable lives where rats were feeding on the dead bodies. Then war propaganda and national honor caught public attention. That means how ridiculous the war was, and it was attacked. Means public was greatly attracted to the national honor. Now they want their respect back. War propaganda and national honor caught public attention. Then support for conservative dictatorship. Democratic ideals were seized. Finally, democracy was indeed a young and fragile idea, that means broken idea, and which could not survive the instabilities of interwar Europe. These all we have seen the effects of First World War. Next, political and radicalism and economic crisis. In this, we have seen that country changed with demand for Soviet-style governance. Now, country wanted the Soviet-style government. Then, socialist Democrats and Catholics stressed for democratic republic. Then, formation of Communist Party of Germany by Sparkists. We have seen. Next, we have seen about uh, radical solutions were sought to achieve political gains, means whatever political drawbacks were there to gain back. That means they had to build the political respect, political nation again properly, the strength they want to get back, and for that they want the solutions for that. Next, we have seen that Germany fought war on loans and was made to pay in gold. Here we have seen that Germany had fought the First World War on loans by taking the loans and all, but he had to repay all the uh, damages by the gold. Reckless printing of paper currency was there, and this declined the value of German mark also. Next, we have seen here that EU hyperflation further created chess in democracy. Hyperflation means the condition was there of hyperflation, in which we have seen that rises of prices were there. uh, the situation, this hyperflation is a situation when prices rise very high. For instance, Germany had to pay cartloads of currency notes to buy a loaf of bread. That shows that the prices rose very high at that time. So USA then introduced the Divan's plan to bail out Germany from crisis. Now Divan's plan was given that Germany did not pay reparation payments to France, which occupied by rule, and Germany resisted and printed paper currency, and the value of German mark then gradually fell. We have seen all these, and then the Americans intervened and introduced the Divan's plan, which reworked the terms of reparation payment to ease the financial burden on the Germans. This all we have seen that Deva's plan was introduced by the German by the Americans on Germans so as to uh, bring Germans out of the financial burden of the war crisis. Next year we have seen the year of depression. In this we have seen that Wall Street Exchange in USA we have seen that is it is the name. What is the Wall Street Exchange? It is the name of the world biggest stock exchange, and it is located in USA. So Wall Street Exchange in USA was crashed, and beginning of great economic depression was there now, and Germany faced its worst economic crisis, and that is why it was the year of depression. Then loss of in this year loss of jobs for the people, and those who were already in the jobs, they had reduced they had been given less wages, reduced wages were there for them, and unemployment also reached the highest peak year during the years of depression. And then we have seen further that currency lost value, and savings, whatever savings were made by the people, was all diminished, finished off. Then fear of impoverishment engulfed the whole Germany. Next we have seen now in the problems faced by Weimar's Republic, we have seen that weak coalition government was there, economic and social crisis were there, then Treaty of Versailles were there, and finally Hitler rise to power. And finally, we see that Hitler rise to power. Now, in this, we have seen that Germans defeated shook Hitler, and Versailles Treaty made him furious. Means by the Treaty of Versailles, Hitler was very much angry, and the defeat of Germans really shook him very badly, and thus he joined German Workers' Party and later controlled it. Hitler joined the Workers' Party, German's Worker Party, and then it controlled it. In 1919, Hitler joined the small group that is called German's Worker Party, and then he took over the organization and renamed National Socialist German. Here it is given National Socialist German Workers Party. So which party was renamed by Hitler? German's Worker Party was renamed by Hitler as National Socialist German Workers' Party. After this, we have seen that during the Great Depression, Nazism became a mass movement because Nazi propaganda gave hopes of the better future. And by 1932, it became the largest party with 37% of votes. Then we have seen that Hitler was a very good orator, very good speaker, then who could draw the attention of the people and impress them with his words. And then for this, we have seen that he also promised the Germans to build a strong nation and wipe out the uh, humiliation, whatever disrespect was given because of Treaty of Versailles, he will wiped off, and he promised that he will also give the employment to the people. Those who wish to get employment, they will get the employment if Hitler will come into power. Then the Hitler was also projected. Now, next we have seen that he was projected as Masiha. What does the word Masiha means? Masiha means a savior, as someone who arrived to deliver people from their distress. Then on 30th January 1933, we have later on see that President Hindenburg offered the chancellorship to Hitler. It was the highest office in cabinet of ministers, and Hitler took steps to dismantle the structure of democratic rule. Then next we have seen the fire decree of 28. Yeah, the fire decree we have read about the 28th February 1933 that suspended civic rights like freedom. Now, which were the civic rights? The freedom of speech, press, and assembly for the indefinite period. Means no definite period was there for that. These suspension of the civic rights, and which guaranteed under this these civic rights were already given by the Weimar Constitution, but it was suspended by the fire decree of 28th February 1933. Next, the communists were the arch enemies of Hitler and the Nazi party. So, who were the arch enemies, staunch enemies, great big enemies of Hitler? The communists. And the enabling, next, we have seen about the enabling act also. Yeah, the Enabling Act was passed on 3rd March 1933, and it established the dictatorship in Germany, and which gave Hitler all powers to rule by decree and without the consent of parliament. Means he will not take the advice of any parliament, any legislative assembly, and Hitler has the power to rule all by himself. This was according to the Enabling Act passed on 3rd March 1933. Next, we have seen the Gestapo was the secret state police. State police we have seen here, the Gestapo. So what was Gestapo you have seen? It was a secret state police. People could be detained in Gestapo torture chambers and then sent to concentration camps and deported at the will and arrest without the legal procedures and all. So this we have seen how the torture was made during the Hitler Germany in Gestapo chambers, concentration camps, and all. Next, who was given the responsibility of economic recovery by Hitler? So, the responsibility of economic recovery to economists was given by economist Hajalmira Sanchez, who aimed to full production and full employment. This year, we have seen that Hajalmir Shashik had aimed for full production and full employment. Yes, they were sent to first concentration camps and then were sent to gas tempo, that means gas chambers and all, for making them die. I mean, till they died, they were there only tortured and kept over in these gas chambers only. To whom Hitler think that they were uh, undesirable people, we can say. We have read about the word desirable and undesirable, na? So the people who, according to Hitler, according to Nazi, were undesirables, they used to, means those who went against the Nazi, they were put into the gas chambers. Next we have seen uh, that yeah, reconstruction, we have seen that Hajmer Shashir assigned economic recovery, then gave Germany state funded work creation program like super highways and Volkswagen, that is people's car was there. Next, revised foreign policy also, and Hitler moved out of League of Nations and gave the slogan one people, one empire and one leader. Yeah. Then Hitler sought the war to get out of economic crisis, and war was there with Poland, France, and England, and then signed a tripartite pact. Yeah, tripartite pact was important. Yeah, we have read about this tripartite pact also. Yeah, it was signed. Uh, this tripartite pact with Italy and Germany. That means three nations were involved in this tripartite pact. Was signed between Germany, Italy, and Japan, and that is why it is called as tripartite pact, and it attacked USSR in 1941 but faced a defeat. Then USA and entry in the World War. We have seen that World War II, now USA. Previously, USA did not wanted to enter the Second World War, but afterwards USA entered the Second World War. Though it was unwilling to join the war, but expansion of Japanese power in East and occupied Indochina. Then Japan attacked on the Pearl Harbor, forced USA to be the part of the war because Japanese power was increasing day by day, and as Japanese attacked the Pearl Harbor of USA. So it was USA was forced now to join the war. And then USA bombed Hiroshima and war ended with Hitler defeat in 1945. Yeah. Then Nazis' worldview we have seen, no equality was there among the people, and then declared Aryan race only to be the finest race in Nazi worldview. According to Nazi, Aryan race was only the finest, and it developed the concept of Lebensraum, that is, acquired new territories to enable settlement for the finest race, that is the Aryans. Then we have seen about the establishment of racial state, that creation of exclusive pure German community, that is Nordic Aryans. So Nordic Aryans were considered as exclusively pure German community, and physical elimination of undesirables were there. So who all were undesirables? The Jews were considered as undesirables, and they were kept as the lowest rung, and persecution of mentally and physical unfit Jews along with the Russian and Poles was also there. So all this we have seen. Uh, I think we have completed this lesson. Then we have seen further youth in Germany, how the youths were asked to join the uh, groups, youth, Nazi youth organization, and then how they were trained. Then Nazi cult of motherhood also we have seen that they were considered mothers, or females were considered different from men, and they were treated as second class citizens. Then only valuables as mother who were considered, who used to bore or rear up pure blooded Aryans. We have seen there that only the pure mothers who bore the pure blooded Aryans were given more preference, and they had to teach the children about Nazi views and all. Then next year we have seen about that special awards were also given to the mothers with many children. Next, the art of propaganda also we have seen. In this, we have seen that the language and media for the great effect was of great effect, and Jews were stereotyped and marked as undesirables only, and suggested that only Nazis can solve all the problems. Then finally, we have seen the ordinary people and the crimes against humanity that many knew when he saw world through Nazi eyes and spoke about Nazi language only and hated the sight of Jews also. So this was the for people view. Then many others braved police repression and death. Then majority were passive onlookers and they feared to act and protest the Nazi people or Hitler, and they were very much fearful for Hitler also. Jews themselves began believing in Nazi stereotypes about them, and then Jews died many times before final solution was there. Then lastly, we have seen last paragraph also we have completed this, that knowledge about a Holocaust. Ghetto inhabitants wanted to narrate hilarious crimes against the humanity in Nazi Germany, and they wrote about it in diaries, notebooks, and created uh, archives, that is the things which are kept to be in the libraries and all. Then efforts were made by Nazi leadership to destroy all these evidences which were there, which showed that they were very harsh and cruel to undesirables. And so the Nazi leadership wanted to destroy all these evidences and memories of Holocaust, but still present in the form of memos, fiction, documentaries, poetries, memorials, and museums. So all these things are still present about the Nazi Germany, what all torture the Jews had to suffer, the undesirables had to suffer. It is still there. Though Nazis had intentionally wanted to destroy each and every evidence, but still memories of that Holocaust still is there, present in the forms of memos, fiction, and documentaries and all. So this all we have completed, and question answers also. I think all these 6 questions you have completed in the notebook. Okay, fine. In our next class, we are going to start with the most probably with the geography. If any other thing I have to means I will first check out and then I will send you in the group. Today, that's all for today. Just revise the lesson again properly and try to complete the work and the assignment subject enrichment activity given to you on time. Thank you.